When people visit Hawaii, they expect to see sandy beaches, palm trees, hula girls, and grass shacks. I don't think that they would even imagine in the middle of Hanalei Valley finding a herd of bison. This herd was established back in the late 1960s. 1969, a gentleman, Bill Morey, decided to bring bison to Hawaii. And he originally got 6 cows and 4 bulls out of Colorado. Later in the 70s, he actually added more bison from South Dakota. And at its peak, I think it was 300 head that they had at one time. Well, it's been a learning process for us, being that we've worked cattle most of our career. So I think the biggest difference between bison and cattle is that cattle are a lot more domesticated compared to buffalo are still somewhat wild in handling them.
You can't get as close to them as you are able to with the beef cattle. And to me, it's like you really have to be calm in order for them to settle down and feel the same.
I'd say cattle aren't as aggressive in close quarters as buffalo are. The cattle are easier to move, easier to herd, should you say. Easier to work in the corral itself. You can actually get close to them, whereas the buffalo, you're gonna have to kind of be behind a gate, or you can't really get close to them. They're a little more aggressive.
Yeah, we've rounded up the bison about 3 or 4 times now, and it gets better every time we do it.
We'd start off by setting up our gates to our corral. Setting up our wing fence gate.
We have a quick briefing with everyone that's involved, and we kind of walk through the plan on where the animals are, what areas they need to come through, who's going to be where, and where's the destination.
We just meet first and tell each other what we're gonna do, and then we go out and we each have like a position we stay in, and there's people who actually go in and drive them out, and people who stay and block certain areas so that they don't branch off. We try to just keep the herd together and drive them all the way into the corral.
What we found, especially this particular herd that we're working with, when you get them in the direction that they want to go, that you just kind of have to keep with it. You don't want to like over push them where they stress out and then they just start to break off, but you just want to keep that momentum going. When they're going, you just want to keep that momentum and just kind of follow them into the corral. And we had success with that on our last drive that we did. So.
Bison feel like horses and other animals are a threat to them, and in particular to their calves. So unless they have been exposed to horses at an early age, they don't respond well. They actually get very defensive.
A lot of bison ranchers experience the fact that they were safer in larger vehicles, so we have an opportunity to use 4-wheelers, that sort of vehicles, and it seems to work good.
In the terrain that we're in, it's a lot of swampy grounds and stuff like that. It's harder for the horses, and just safety reasons and whatever.
Once we get them to the corral, and if they all go in easily, they'd probably fly spray them. Other than that, I'd say that's about it in the corral.
We just kind of want them to know that it's a good place and it's a calm place and it's nothing to get all freaked out about. So, just kind of let them hang out, and then we just open the gate and let them come out later on and stuff. So the next time we drive them in there, they're going to be like, oh, there's food in there, or, it's not. Yeah, so we haven't done no brandings or anything so far, no vaccinations or doctoring of any type yet. So
The first time that we tried to round up the bison, which was totally new to all of us, we weren't very successful.
We got them to the gate of the corral, and we applied a little bit too much pressure. Ended up turning around and almost running a few guys over.
once they turn around, and when they make up their mind that they turn around and they're going back to where they came, there's nothing you're going to do to stop that.
So it's been a learning process, and every time we've become more and more successful. We were hired on to get the herd back into a healthy, sustainable herd. We want to perpetuate the legacy of Mr. Bill Maury, that the bison herd stays intact as long as we can in Hanalei Valley. I think one of the important things for us and one of our missions is to assure that this herd in Hanalei Valley is a pure herd. When it was originally purchased 30 some years ago, it was purchased in the understanding it was a pure bison American bison herd. One of the biggest problems in the mainland is over time there has been some contamination from beef breeds, and although it can be a very minute amount of contamination, it is a contamination. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to actually take hair samples and see if this herd is truly a bison herd. And if that's the case, then there is some interest in using some of the genetics here in Hawaii to go back to Colorado and possibly other herds to introduce this genetics back into the American herd.
It's very interesting. I've spent my whole life being around animals. First and foremost, you have to love what you do, and it grows with you. And no matter what type of animal it is, we have to realize that, when we're calm, they're calm. The animals will sense every bit of it. And a lot of people don't realize that. But if you do it long enough and observe and watch the animals, we as human beings, and myself, I've learned a lot just being around them and working with them. And I love it.
I like being in the open. I like being on pasture land instead of being indoors or anything like that. I also love working with animals, horses, cattle, obviously buffaloes, but you got to really enjoy being outside and dealing with nature, dealing with the weather, obviously, and all that stuff that has to do with being a cowboy.
I just like the lifestyle of being a cowboy and just doing what cowboys do, roping, riding, catching cattle and stuff. People should know that ranching it's hard work, but it's fun. It has its rewards.
It's just being out there. A lot of times you're alone, or at least with people that have the same interests and passion as you. It's being on horseback. That's one thing at our ranch is we do everything on horse. Just being with nature. That's it's just really good for the soul, and that's what I really enjoy and like is being out there.
I love to do it. This is it's my passion. You know what I mean? I never feel like how some people like they go to work and like, oh, I need to get out of here. I just want to go home or whatever. I mean, it's a way of life that I love, and it's a blessing for me.